Michael, Keith, thank you for taking some time today to sit down with me, my firm, to talk about your business experience and add to our Pinnacles video series. So I'm going to cut right to the chase. How did two guys from Atlanta, former lawyer, former investment banker, put together a fund and buy a healthcare company in Baltimore?
That's a really good question to start off with. I think the origin story of Seneca Creek Partners really goes back to Emory University, which is where Keith and I met. We were both undergraduates in the business program, both in the same fraternity, and really shared a passion for business and entrepreneurship. And so that's kind of been a thread that's run along our careers and our outside interests. When we finished Emory, we kind of took disparate paths. I worked as an investment banker for 3+ years at Morgan Stanley in the London office. Keith went on to law school and became a corporate lawyer. But this thread of entrepreneurship continued to kind of course throughout our paths. And I was the first one to kind of take the splash into entrepreneurship when I moved back from the UK to Atlanta to set up a men's custom clothing business of all things. So for whatever reason,
you look good today, though.
Thank you.
So I guess that helps.
So for whatever reason, I like to dive into things where I have absolutely zero experience, and I learned a lot in that business. And one of the things that I did learn is that my passion for business didn't just extend to being a startup entrepreneur. And along the path of running that business, I came across another entrepreneur who told me about the model that we followed, which is the search fund model, where young entrepreneurs could get the backing of a small syndicate of really operators and individuals who had run businesses before, and they would not only provide the capital, but also provide mentorship and coaching for those entrepreneurs. Keith and I, again, we read tons of business books, articles, and I share with him the model. In 2008, 2009, it wasn't the right time for either of us. Fast forward, 2011, I decided to go back to business school. And we really have kind of this seminal moment in 2012 where we meet in a hotel in Chicago and we kind of decide that, hey, I'm really thinking about doing this search fund, and when I finish business school, really going out and trying to buy a business to run. Keith was already there, so he is more of the executioner, taskmaster, so he really was about, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this the right way. And from there, Seneca Creek Partners was born in that hotel lobby.
The process for actually finding the company was very straightforward. We got on the phone, we cold called entrepreneurs. We sent them letters saying, hey, you don't know us from a can of paint, but we're two guys that are really eager to run a business, and we'd love to run your business if it's the right fit for you and it's the right fit for us. And we had a thesis around compliance. So I was a lawyer, I'd worked in compliance, and one of the things about compliance we thought is, generally compliance only goes one direction. Typically the government or these accrediting bodies don't give you less regulation, they only pile more on. And so we thought it was a very sort of stable thesis for us. If we found compliance in whatever industry, that was something that we thought could be high recurring revenue, something that may generate good margins, and a business that would be a decent start for us. And Kruger Gilbert was exactly that. So we sent an email out to a number of brokers. We had compiled a list of about 1,000 brokers, and we basically detailed our thesis around compliance and healthcare, right? We said healthcare is the largest sort of industry, 16% of GDP, I think, roughly at the time. So if we can find something in compliance and healthcare, it's kind of a sweet spot. And literally got an email back from the brokers that were marketing the deal. And 9 months to 6 months, 7 months later, we're the owners of Kruger Gilbert.